Good evening. Welcome back to the show. James Rule XRP. You are watching the James Rule Crypto Show. It's Saturday evening. I got a lot done today. It was almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit here in Texas. It's humid. It's hot. You're having to stay hydrated. And I'll tell you what, I'm staying hydrated. I'm drinking a cold beer tonight, and I'm going to tell you what it is here in a minute. Hey, don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a crypto teacher, and I told you so. And today's episode is sponsored by Uphold. Uphold is a cryptocurrency broker that never delisted XRP. The Uphold platform is always 100% reserved and fully transparent. Assets and liabilities are published in real time. They never loan out customers money, and they're subject to regular U.S. state audits. Check them out. There is a link below to Uphold. Pick up some XRP, not financial advice, and tell them James Rule XRP sent you by. All right, tonight it's German. Paulaner. Heffenweisen. I'm from Texas. I can't pronounce it. It's a Munich wheat beer. It's awesome. It's got a little sweet in it. It's got a little, it's almost like it's different. And I love it. And it's light. It's smooth. It's got a little kick to it. And as you can see in the background, XRP, I told you so. It's a lovely evening. Let's take a look at the crypto numbers at 7 p.m. Texas time. Total market cap is $1.1 trillion. Bitcoin's at 26,530. Ethereum's at 1729. XRP is hanging around 48 cents. No worries. Things are happening. Cardano's down to 26 cents. Stellar 7. Hashgraph 4. Quant, VeChain, Algo, Casper, XDC, all the above. Do your research. Know about these technologies. Have faith in your investments. Now, I want to cover a few things today. The first one is a tweet I put out earlier, and there's two other tweets from members of the community. One is very well known. But first of all, we're going to look at my tweet I put out earlier, and it got a lot of feedback. Here's the question. What are the damages to retail investors from Gary Gensler and the SEC assuming dozens of digital assets or securities? There is currently zero proof, and it's up to the courts and Congress to decide, not the SEC, not Gary Gensler. Billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars, have been lost to retail crypto investors, blockchain investors, people around the world, people in this community because of the SEC's actions. They're throwing random tokens out there to scare off the public, to scare off you, to scare off me, to scare off newbies in this space. Do not let these idiots at the SEC scare you off or sway you away. It's a smokescreen. It's all about the banks. They're trying to drive these prices down so much that the banks, the JP Morgans, the BlackRocks, the Gary Genslers, the Elizabeth Warrens could scoop it up when you let it go. So hold tight. Don't let it go. Don't let it distract you. Don't let it persuade you. I've tagged John Deaton, Warren Davidson, Tom Emmer, digital asset investor, Brad, crypto law, Brad Garlinghouse, Stu Alderati, attorney Jeremy, James Fallon. You know, that's all it is. It's a big smokescreen. And it's hypocrisy. It's ridiculous. It pisses me off every day when a Robinhood or a Coinbase or whoever has to delist something just because of these accusations by the SEC. You know, back in 2020, December 2020, right before Christmas, the SEC deemed XRP a security, and it was taken off all the exchanges. It was taken off iTrustCapital. It was taken off of this exchange, that exchange, because, oh no, the SEC is going to come after us if we keep it on the exchange. But you know what? Uphold had the balls to keep holding. That's why they're one of my sponsors. That's why I love Uphold. Let's keep going. Mark Cuban. Everyone knows Mark Cuban at M. Cuban. He owns the Dallas Mavericks. He is a multi-billionaire. He is an entrepreneur. And he tweets this out talking about a Jay Clayton article. And I'm going to read it to you. It's showing the idiots that were at the SEC, the idiots that are at the SEC are making assumptions. They're making shit up as they go. They're regulating by enforcement. Small companies, big companies in the United States cannot register with the SEC because there are no clear rules. I repeat, there are no clear rules to register with the SEC. Let's read it. Former SEC enforcement head Jay Clayton unknowingly threw the SEC under the bus and explained why the SEC needs to change the registration rules for digital assets like crypto. Here's what he said, quote, "So what would cause that shift? Present utility versus future utility," Clayton said. Clayton pointed to Broadway tickets as an example. If someone bought 1,000 tickets for $10 and told their friends and family that they would be able to resell those tickets for $100 or $1,000, then it's security. He said, but if you just buy those 10 tickets, if you just buy the ticket 10 years later, it's just a ticket. How is he throwing the SEC under the bus? Because he considers the tickets a security. The person buying them, selling those tickets, must go to the SEC and register them somehow. So if I bought a painting, I have several Blue Dog paintings by Rodrigue in my house, and many of them have increased in value over the past 4 years. So if I buy a painting for $2,000 and now it's worth $20,000 and I sell it to someone for $20,000, do I have to register it with the SEC? If I have a bunch of fucking Beanie Babies or if I have baseball cards and they have increased in value over the past 20, 30 years, do I have to register that with the SEC? That's a bunch of crap, people. So if this is some enterprising college kids who bought the tickets and were trying to resell them to their friends, they're breaking the law and risking SEC enforcement action if they didn't go to the SEC and learn securities law and figure out how to determine if they're eligible for an exemption for registration or hire a securities attorney to have them figure it out and then file all the paperwork, which would certainly cost them more than the possible profits available. And of course, the play would be long over the time they got the required approvals from the SEC. It's hypocrisy. This is the part Gary Gensler doesn't understand about crypto and small businesses and startups. While it may be a question of regulatory arbitrage for some huge companies, 99% of crypto companies started small. 99% of them stayed small. Like their incorporation and tax IDs, etc., they are not against registering with the SEC. In fact, I bet almost all of them would love to register with the SEC. The issue is not intent. The issue is that there are zero, I repeat, zero, easy to follow guidelines for small crypto startups to follow. I had someone who I worked with call the SEC and ask them about how to register a token. Where could we find guidelines? They were very polite and gave us references to various cases to review and then effectively told us that we should probably get a securities lawyer to help. Really? It never crossed Jay Clayton or Gary Gensler's mind that for startups, the tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees, most of which is generated from the required back and forth work with the SEC and months-long delay as they go through the process, is very difficult for startups. All other licenses, including incorporation to payroll, whatever, are fast and easy and relatively inexpensive for even the smallest Etsy artist. If the SEC really wants to protect investors, make it easy and relatively inexpensive to register. Then no one will say no to registration, and you will have complete access to all the information you need and the ability to protect more investors. If states can simplify rules and the IRS can make it easier for new companies to get set up, why can't the SEC? This is not a crypto issue. This is an SEC principle issue. Exactly, Mark Cuban. It's the ridiculous things that we're seeing and hearing, this Prometheum, this BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, this Gary Gensler and the SEC just making up tokens that are securities. They're calling them securities, but there's no court evidence. There's no factual evidence proving that these tokens are digital asset securities. They're just throwing them out there as a distraction. I feel pretty good. I've had a German beer. I think I'm going to have another one. Ashley Prosper has been getting the information out there. XRP community. Now listen to this. For years, the sleuths have been sleuthing, including myself, including digital asset investor John Deaton, Digital Perspective, Brad Kimes, Crypto Eddie, Bearable Boy. I can't name them all, but they're all there. And the community has been researching. So why does it feel like we are barely scratching the surface of ETHgate? The names and entities involved go on and on, and I'm going to read them for you. Bear with me. Let's start with JP Morgan, Consensus, Prometheum, Wanxang, CCP, SEC, eSuite, Vitalik Buterin, Joseph Lubin, Aaron Kaplan, Bill Hinman, Jay Clayton, Michael Seaman, Valerie Shapanik, Gary Gensler, Jeff Sprecher, Bakkt, ICE, Coinbase, Elizabeth Warren, EEA, Yetank, Stephen Narioff, Alibaba, Simpson Thatcher, Ethereum Foundation, Sullivan Cromwell, FTX, SBF, Carolyn Ellison, Maxine Waters. Feel free to add any names if I miss, and there's many more names out there. The picture I'm getting, along with many others, is certain people want to control the crypto industry. They don't want free and fair markets. They want total control, a monopoly, but not for themselves. No, they would trade freely on designated crypto securities exchanges designed for the rich, while they force the masses into the two they have selected for us, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, to that, I say no. I don't want the slow or the expensive. I want the fast, cheap, and stable. I want XRP, baby. Because I told you so. So I'm just venting a little bit this evening. I mean, the hypocrisy, the bullshit we've been putting up with our legislators, our governments, the SEC, making up crap, regulating as they go, putting small blockchain companies out of business because of the lawyer fees and the hypocrisy and the bullshit they've been getting out there. Enough is enough, and we're fighting the fight. We're getting our voices heard. Share this video, like this video. I love getting it out to you. I know I say a few words that I shouldn't say every once in a while, but I'm human. I live in Texas. I still say yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I'm God-fearing. I believe in the laws of attraction. I believe in this community. I believe in this technology. I live this technology. I spend this technology. Yes, I told you in my prior video, I had to cash out thousands upon thousands of XRP just to make ends meet at the end of December, but I'm good. I'm good. My bags are still packed. They're a little smaller, but they're still packed. And yes, damages have been made by the SEC and all these hypocrites in the U.S. government. And they're going to pay the price in the end, baby. They are going to pay the price in the end because they owe the retail investor. We owe nothing. We pay the government in taxes to help the investor, to protect the investor, and they are not protecting the crypto investor. Have a lovely evening. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers tomorrow. I lost mine when I was 14. I have a stepdad. I consider him a father to me. And happy Father's Day, everybody. Have a good evening. James Rule XRP is out of here. I told you so.